Welcome to the Scent of Beauty. My name is Susan, and this video is titled The State/Condition of Pessimism, Part 3. We're going to talk about the conductive loss. And in order to do that, if you listen to Part 1 and 2, pause this video and then come back. You'll have a more in-depth understanding of the condition itself and not the label of the signs and symptoms of negativity. We'll find that it is a pathology. It's based on a study. We're going to study the field, the injury itself. We talked about the customs and becoming accustomed to the condition of pessimism, which is taking the failures that have been have occurred in our lives and have applied it to our person, believing that we're failures, that something is quote unquote wrong with us. So we're taking experiences and internalizing it. And that's why I've mentioned that Rachel captured this image in such a profound way, because the beautiful woman, as we see in this image, she covers her face. So we're not relying on these senses that we've become accustomed to, our eyes, our nose, our taste buds. I've done videos on those, but right now, the essence of this video, it's about the psyche and what we hear. So the ears is open and we see the psyche and the messages. The interaction of our psyche and ears are open because it is actually a road that we travel very often, and sometimes it could be a long road, or sometimes the distance can be short, and that is dependent upon allowing all the contributing factors to achieve its optimal potential, optimum expression. That's what I am actually getting at, just the optimum expression. And so we're going to take a look at the receptors in our ears and see how it ties into our psyche. I needed an illustration, and so what I decided to do was take a look at conductive hearing loss. Osteocellulitis, I find to be the best illustration, a visual component for our psyche to capture and conceptualize the condition of pessimism. Our receptors are always here to help. You see, conductive hearing loss is really, just to surmise it, when the bones in our middle ear is not able to freely vibrate. This stems from, I believe, it's neuroplasm tissues that is overgrown, and it covers the stapes in our middle ear. So what happens is we get these sound waves, right? And it's called sine waves too. And it flows through our, and when we have these waves, then it goes into these sound waves, and then it goes into, it hits our eardrum. And then once our eardrums get stimulated, then there's the malleus. And then our malleus have these sound waves, and then it hits and transfer it to the ingus, and then it goes to the stapes. Now, these are important because these are the 3 smallest bones in our entire bodies. So I want you to remember malleus, ingus, and stapes. So stapes is the last portion of our inner ear, that vibration, and it goes in and out, and it pushes in and out, and it's waking up, and it's saying hello to our oval window. Now, when stapes has the neuroplasm tissue that's overgrown around it, it stops working effectively. And so the oval window that is supposed to be stimulated and open, because of that condition, it is not getting the signal, it's not opening to its full potential. And so the hearing starts to decrease. It doesn't go away completely, but it becomes impaired, right? So with every condition or disorder, otocelluritis, there has to be a way to measure the loss. And this occurs when Encard-Hart-Notch answers the question, why? Because conductive hearing loss, it's based on a shape, right? And so found on an audiogram, and it talks about the frequencies and the decibels. I mentioned that in another video, but that's what the audiogram, we take a look at to see the shape and how much hearing loss has occurred. And they take a look at the distortional bone conduction, also inner cell bone conduction, osteotympanic bone conduction, and they learn the various conduction, how the bone is conducting its hearing by placing this mechanism right behind our ears. There is that bone, right on that bone. When the osteotympanic and inner cells get fused together, these bones, they get fused right on the back of the neck, actually the back of the brain. So we rely on the decibel and frequency of the distortional bone conduct, and that's where the frequency is based on, and it's a variant of shapes. And so we rely on where is that frequency. There you'll find why the mechanism is disturbed, because it's a systematic problem. So if we bring that concept over into the condition of pessimism, that state is a systematic problem. We become malcontent with answers. And what I mean by that is those burn batches that I talked about, those relationships, those losses, we have a bunch of these losses, the answers from those experiences that we've had with others. And we are so dissatisfied with the answers, and it has become so bothersome for us internally, conductively, as we think about it, we complain about it, it starts to make trouble in our life. And that's the troubling of our psyche. That's the troubling. That's where we stop hearing current events, current condition, because we get stuck in that disapproval states of the answers that we received. We have become accustomed to refuting the answers that individuals gives us. There is a song, and it keeps on playing in my mind, so I'm going to mention it. This singer, she said, "And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best man I've ever known, and there's no way I will ever go," refuting his answer that he told her, "I'm leaving." That's what I'm talking about. Those answers, becoming content with these answers, dissatisfied with it. And these are the songs that we refer to as love songs. These are the sound wave patterns that get stuck in our subconscious mind. We can't be in the reality of today, but we can't move into our future because we're always in the same moments. And when we're in a pessimism state of being, we're saying, that's the wrong answer. Change the answer. I hate that answer. And when we receive these resignation answers from people that decide we're going to depart, we're leaving, we're quitting, we want them to match our answers. We want them to match our feelings, our love, our likeness, our consideration. And we inadvertently are making these statements. I'll wait for you to make up your mind to match my answers. And these ideas get stuck and fused in our minds, in that place where we can't move over into another relationship, into another way of existing, into another. We get stuck in sameness. Usually when we start to hear people moving away these answers, we go deaf to it. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. That means that answer. I'm turning a deaf ear to it, that answer. And then we go into this place where now we're going to extend the time to others to make up their minds when they initially have made up their minds. We start to, what happened is, right, we become fastened to our preconceived answers in relationship, what I want. And what we fail to hear is that conductively, we're trying to conductively challenge the individual, their final answers, and we conscientiously, or I should say unconscientiously, starts to impede ourselves, our hearing. So when we look on the report, or when we look at ourselves, where can we locate the answers that we didn't find pleasing, but we kept pushing against someone's answers, leaving ourselves hearing impaired? We don't have to like the answers but we have to accept answers. I might cry about an answer, but I will not block my ears, because what I've learned in this video is what I don't have to do is extend time to start the process of getting burned. It's not an irreparable condition. It can change. I tell you, our receptors are our first love. Our receptors hear these sound waves, these frequencies that are loud and uncomfortable, and is hitting against the oval window, telling us to open. And so with the scent of beauty, we're going to move forward. Thank you for listening, and I'll do part 4, the final video. Are you ready to hear? We could start making and changing the answers that we've been living with that has not been beneficial for our well-being. Welcome to the Scent of Beauty. My name is Susan.